So, hello freaking to you, my YouTube freaking audience. Tonight or today, we are gonna continue on our writing journey and our journey of mastering the English language. We have a 1 hour timer over here, and we are gonna continue on writing with the Google Docs and with the speech recognition software. And this stuff like it's really good practice for your language abilities and your pronunciation of the words. So if you want to master some foreign language, we have a lot of options over here, and you could try, for example, speaking Finnish if you are from the States. It's pretty hard, but we are gonna talk about this upsizing your mind. This could be our book idea number 11, and uh, we are gonna ask this question of ourselves: am I thinking too small? Am I not seeing the possibilities of growth? Am I hindering myself from growing? That kind of thing, those kind of questions. Is there only one way to grow? What do I need to grow? What aspects can I grow in? Well, it's pretty evident that in this world there are these known ways of like these tried and true ways of like growing, for example, like weed. you know there are these like these ways, but what do plants really need, for growth, like sun and water, and the proper soil. that's that's for like plants. But if you think about in the human terms, but if you think about in the human terms but in the human terms, what do humans need to grow? Yeah, that's exactly the kind of stuff, humans. If you want to think about it in this way, it could be something like maybe like recognition, maybe like belief, that kind of stuff. Like not fearing failure, that kind of stuff, you know so if you like human beings, you put into yourself into situations where you have never strived before, that kind of thing. But I feel that being a certain way does not equal growth. you know, being some way it doesn't equal like growth, you know. But you know, everything that grows is gonna also like wither away at some point. You know, trees are pretty old, but you know, they also like die at some point, or they grow and then they like, you know, it's kind of like that. So now if we talk about like downsizing your life, then we could ask this question that what are the things in your life that you could downsize, to help you grow. I actually did this, if I talk about yesterday a little, I did this like, I did a little bit of like email marketing for my YouTube channel. And about email marketing, I kind of feel I'm not really sure if it works really good, you know. I'm not really sure if it's even like worth to do, but you know, I still did it. That's what I did yesterday. And also yesterday I wrote this one song, you know. It was called the Getaway song. It was really funny. It was really funny how it came about. And then I also made it was Sunday, so I made this gallery for my best photographs in the Biostock or something like that. The like service for photographers or digital art. And it was really a good day in a sense. I did something to like push myself a little bit like to the people's. But I feel that things that you do to the computer are kind of like, because in the computer world you could say it like this. I'm gonna return this point, but there was this the algorithm like kind of posed this question for me that what are the things you are good in. That's kind of like a like you could pose it like what are the things you could be good in. Yeah, what are the things you are actually doing. So I have no idea, but if I'm talking about good, but you could know that you could say that I'm good in putting my ideas to text. I might not be a best writer, but I'm writing. We're writing, photography, songwriting, marketing. What I do. I think I have a good sense of color. Yeah. How would you explain this? Like, what are the things you are good in? Like, creating visual. things where text and photo work together or something. It's pretty. That's pretty like, yeah. I'm really good at screaming also. I can scream pretty loud. I think I'm pretty good at doing like, you know, we're gonna return to that point in some way, but you know, this is really interesting. What are the things you could downsize to help you grow? What does it freaking mean, you know, even to grow? I have no idea. This is kind of the analytical stuff again, and I'm not really into that. I'm not really into this, you know. Maybe fear of failure. Are there failures that can cost you a lot? What can you lose if you make this failure? Like, for example, if I fail over here, like I write something stupid, it's not really that bad, you know. Okay, so we mapped over here what kind of person we want to be. one thing I want to one thing I want to become. Yeah, there's this word called independent, and I mean by this that I could like say it like this. I can get from the world what I need without me having to get into any having to get into any get into get into any what I need while still doing following my true path, something like that. That's independence. If you get what you need from the world and you like lose everything that's related to your true path, then it's kind of a shitty deal, you know. It's not really independence at all. So that's dream. So we can ask you this question. So how can I achieve something like this? I've been thinking about this. How can I really make money of what I do? What can I give to other people? Well, you know, when in that, like, we get into this, like, we get into pretty like stupid territory, because this kind of question, it limits a lot of our, like, it limits us a lot, you know. Does the fact that I have to give something to others limit me in some way? Oh, yeah, of course it does, because there are things that cannot be given. Are there things that cannot be given? Yeah, of course there are. Most of the stuff that's like really like about you cannot give to others. You cannot give your brains to anyone. You cannot give your like way of thinking to anyone. Well, maybe you can. If my way of thinking is effective, then is there a way to give this style of thinking to others? I'm kind of like hitting a block over here. What about smoothness, you know? Like tension free. When I have tension in my body, I feel I can't really pull out my best stuff, and I can't present myself in the best way I can. And I also might be making others uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. Good. Resistance free. I have enough expertise and enough confidence and enough experience and enough. These are pretty manly things, you know, expertise and confidence and, you know, enough like passion, you know. That's a good word. You know, it's freaking true that expertise, confidence, experience, it won't probably get you very far if you don't have any passion and enough passion and enough. And what would be what do you need to get resistance free? Passion, confidence, expertise, experience, practice to make what I do seem resistance free. Do, feel, to make what I do feel and seem resistance free. Yeah. Fluid. In what I do, I want to look like water that is flowing in a stream. It has to feel like there's no resistance, no hesitation. It has to feel like I always find my way. Because that's what water does. You know, that's pretty funny about water. We could ask this question over here. How much effort do you have to put into something before it becomes effortless? To become effortless, you have to embrace those small wins on the journey. For example, like yesterday when I wrote the song, you know, when I wrote that Getaway song, you know, it was kind of like it had kind of like that. It was like a certain kind of win, you know, for me, and you know, that's what we are really going for. You shouldn't you shouldn't compare your wins to anybody else's wins. Well, that's also true. That's pretty funny. You shouldn't have to compare your wings to anybody else's wins. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about flow. It's all about freaking flow, you know. This what I'm writing over here, it's all about freaking flow. Smoothness. It has to seem that my output is more smooth than normally. I'm kind of relaxed and feeling good about the situation. Yeah, something like that. This doesn't work. Yeah, like for example now, are independent. You know, this funny thing is that, you know, like for example, like worrying. I've been thinking about this. You know, worrying is a really like a stupid thing, because worrying is kind of like your like mild form of fear. I have said this like before. You know, like the like we could write over here like a book name. Quit worrying. That's really like, it's a really nice book name, you know. It's actually not that good, but you know, let's not worry about it. If we put over here like book 13. Worrying is a mild form of fear. It's like a background thing. It's not so intense that you would do anything about it, but it's not so mild that it doesn't bother you. You know, that's what worrying is all about. Worrying bothers you. You might mask the thing that is bothering you with something else that you can worry about, but still it's the same underlying thing. You know, that's really interesting. But what are you really worrying about? Why do you accumulate things you can worry about? For example, if there are those like collector types that they collect these, like, for example, you could collect something and you start worrying about your collection. If you didn't even have this collection, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Like, kind of like that. Like, if you have a car, you are worrying about your car. If you have a lot of like if you have, for example, like these stocks, you know, stocks. I mean, like, if you're in the, if you have like these, what are these, like shares in a company, you know, if you have like stocks in the stock market, you are bound to be worrying about them at least sometime. If you didn't have them, you would be worrying probably about something else. Okay, do you understand me what I'm going for here? Is it possible to get this start living like life at the same time having the things and at the same time not worrying about them? Would you care about take something if you didn't worry about it? kind of like that, you know. I'm gonna turn on this light over here so I don't. Well, maybe it doesn't matter so much, but you know, that's what I mean. Worrying is kind of like that. It's this background thing that goes on in your mind. So you want to quit worrying? Do you have to like? If you want to quit worrying, do you have to like get like let go of everything you like are striving for, or like you know the Buddhist monks? Do Buddhist monks worry? Do monks worry about something? Maybe planning and worrying is kind of the same. There's always a small plan related to every worry. So you could say that when you are worrying, you are actually planning. Thinking about your actions into the future. Isn't it pretty amazing that you can even do this kind of thing? Like, think about this question. Like, if what are you good at? Like, boring. I'm not really like. I'm not really the boring type, you know. For reals, you know. I'm not really that worried about like it's kind of like when you like there's these certain levels, you know. If you think about like health problems, you know, those are like pretty major things, you know, like sickness. It's kind of hard to like get over it. But then again, you might not really be that worried about that. Is it pretty amazing that you can even do this kind of thing? Isn't it pretty amazing that you even can worry about something? You know, worrying is something you have to get rid of from your mind. You want to get rid of it. When actually you might want to embrace it. Could worrying actually be good? Yeah, good question. That a good question. I like this is really something pretty new. There's something trying to be masked over here. if we think about mental activity, if we think about mental activity, is worrying the only type of activity there is in the mind? Because worrying has an object. Worrying always has an object. You might be worrying about your kids, or your status at work, your reputation, anything. But do you see how small stuff this actually is? Yeah, it's small stuff. You might be worrying about this. You might be more worrying about many things, you know. If you are in the freezing cold outside, you might start to worry about your hands freezing. But what's the difference? You probably won't die anyway. So it's kind of like worry makes you believe that the object is important. It's kind of like that, you know. It's life. And you could ask this: what if there was nothing to worry about? That's another way to go about it. So, but that doesn't mean that's the way we should go about these things. So we have to understand worrying. Because you know, worrying is something you do, and you don't really, it's kind of a doing, you know, that's pretty subconscious, because you know, you can worry even though nobody has taught you it. It's a mental activity. Something you do with your mind. What else could you be doing with your mind other than worrying? With worrying, there's this grasping feeling. Notice that with worrying there's this like feeling of like this. It's kind of like your mind is like closing in on itself. This is really good. Worrying is probably also pretty addictive, kind of like running. But the funny thing about worrying is that if you're worrying a lot, you might want to escape it by doing something. Doing something really out of the norm. Worrying, it might be the pressure you need to get a new side out of yourself. It might make you more creative. Or completely block you. Yeah. Kind of like that. And you keep thinking that the right strategy in your life is that I don't want to worry about something, so I will work for it even harder. But is this the right strategy? Isn't it just making your obsession with the thing more powerful? You know, for example, I don't have a car, and I don't have to worry about the freaking car, you know, because of that. Yeah. For example, I have froze my froze my hands like many times this like winter because I have this like freaking disconnection with my body, you know. I don't really feel it. I don't really feel the like cold even. It's in the same way that like probably normal people do. You know, I don't get this like I have to get out of here. You know, I can like I can like freaking go through a lot of like this kind of stuff. You know, in the rain and in the like snow, and you know that normal people would never like even think that it's like wise. You know, and so I have some kind of like problem probably over here in this department, like in the self-preservation type of stuff. But you know, I feel that the human body can take actually a lot more than that that your worries are like pretty exaggerated. Is it making you obsessed with the thing more powerful? And are your worries a bit exaggerated? Yeah, that's the kind of thing, you know. They might be. They might be. You know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's that's it. You know, that's it. Can we how is imagination related to worrying? How is memory related to worrying? How's memory related to worrying? How is imagination related to worrying? How's memory related to worrying? How's yeah. Is worrying a good use for your imagination? If like if like worrying is a if worrying is a bad use for your mind, then is and your imagination, then what would be a better use for your mind? You could think about it in this way, like if taking drugs is a bad use for your time, then what would be the better way to do? use of your time. If talking trash is a bad use for your voice, then what would be the better use? So you understand. We have to map our life like this. If buying a car is a bad use for your money, then what would be the better use? So now you understand that actually like money is actually using you. Yeah. This is deep stuff. We're gonna go deeper into this tonight. Is how I'm using this thing I have right now a good use for it. For example, I'm using this computer right now. Is what I'm doing on the computer a good use for the computer? Yeah. Oh, this microphone over here is it's like a good use for this microphone. Like with my mind is what I'm using my mind for, like a good use for the mind. Well, it's all related. You relate something like that, because you have to like understand that you try something and then you realize, yeah, that maybe not the goose you can best use for this. So you have to also understand that the mind and a tool and money and your computer are all can all be used for many different things. You understand? This is pretty. This is higher level stuff, higher level like thinking than than when we're just worrying about something. Like people are like obsessed with something like this way of thinking, that I can use this for something. Because actually, you know, that might not be that good. You know, the mind and the I can use this for something. And in many different ways. Yeah. Yeah. This is really good stuff. So what's the conclusion over here? The mind can be used for many different things, and worrying is only one thing that the mind can be used. And worrying probably won't get you very far. Because isn't it the fact that worrying doesn't create anything? Yeah, it just might push you to get like do something. The mind, a tool, and money, and you can all be used for many different things and in many different ways. Yeah. Let's think about this creative use of something. What is the mind designed for? That's our next hour. It's really funny actually that when you really start to question anything, the thing loses its power. You know, like I mean that you when you question it, you can like make it work better for you. Like if your mind is all worrying, you know, you can make it better to like, you know, for example, if you really understood, we were worrying about something a lot, but if you really understood what I said here, you would understand that there's so much more value in this than in the worrying, you know. There's so much more value in this stuff, you know. That's the hour for you. I hope you liked it. This one was really like beneficial for me at least. So thanks for watching.